Now we're moving into the graphing portion of the review for the final. And our first question is to find the x-intercept. This is really an algebra question. You have to know for an x-intercept you're going to plug 0 into the y. So we're going to put 0 instead of y. So we're really just going to substitute here. And then solve. 8 times 0 is 0, so that's going to wipe out. We have 4x equals 32. Divide by 4. X equals 8. This is an ordered pair, so you want parentheses, and remember it's always x comma y. The x we just solved for, and the y we put in at the beginning according to the definition. So it has to be 8, 0. The order does matter. So our choice is C. Our next question is to find the y-intercept. So also an algebra question. And when you're given the equation, you just need to know that you need to put 0 in the x for the y-intercept. So it always goes in the opposite one. So we're substituting 0 into the x. And then we'll solve. 4 times 0 is 0, so that piece is gone. Negative 8y equals 32. Divide out your coefficient. So y equals negative 4. To go back into our ordered pair, our x is 0. We put that in at the beginning by definition. So 0, negative 4. B is our choice. For problem 30, they ask us to find the graph that best matches the linear equation. So first you will need to graph it yourself before you look at their choices. And I have slope-intercept form. If you're familiar with slope, your y is isolated, your slope will be the coefficient of the x. So our m is 1/2. Our y-intercept will be this point, 0, negative 1. Plot your point, so don't go over, go down 1. Y-intercept lands on the y-axis. From there, you're going to count up 1 and over 2 with the slope. If we want to be able to make a good line, we can do it again. Up 1, over 2, and then we'll connect the dots for our line. Now we're going to try to match that graph to the other choices. I'm going to see if I can bring them on this screen and make them fit. When you're matching your graph to other people's graph, it's a little different skill than just graphing it yourself. So graph it yourself, and then all of these are a little bit similar. So what we want to be able to do is to check some things that tell them apart. One thing I always look for is the slope. This one does point up as it goes to the right, and actually all the choices do that. The second thing I look for is where is my line in relationship to 0, 0. My line is below 0, 0. So A is below 0, 0, and B is below 0, 0. It rules out the other two. All right. Between those two, it looks a little bit more like A. Let's see if we can find something else. The other good thing to look for is the intercepts, the points where it crosses the x and y axis. And for both of these, it crosses at negative 1 on the y-intercept, but on the x-intercept, it crosses at 2, which the B choice crosses at 1. So A is going to be your correct choice. For 30B, we're also going to find the graph that best matches the given linear equation. Our equation is just in a different format here. This time it has x and y on the same side. That's a good time to use intercepts, which means you just plug in 0. So we can do it as a little table. and we're going to plug 0 into x. When we're done, then we're going to switch and plug 0 in the y. So we have 3 times 0 minus y equals 6. 3 times 0 is 0, so we have minus y equals 6. Divide out that negative 1, so y equals negative 6. And then we'll switch and put 0 in the y. 3x minus 0 equals 6. And minus 0 is not going to matter, so we have 3x equals 6. And we will divide on both sides by 3. So that will give us x equals 2. When you use intercepts, because you know they're supposed to land on the x and y axis, 2 points are actually enough. You don't have to get 3. So first, 0, negative 6. So it says don't go over, but go down 6. And then 2, 0. So we go back to 0, 0, 2, and don't go up or down. Then we will connect the dots to make our line. Now let's compare the lines. First of all, our line has a positive slope. It goes up as it goes to the right, and only 2 of these have a positive slope, A or D. So we can throw out C and B. Just at a glance, I think D looks closer. Let's check the other things. My line is below 0, 0. A is also below, and D is below. So that doesn't help us. The next thing I would look for is the intercepts. 0, negative 6, and D has 0, negative 6. So D is going to be the correct choice.